Very, I know. I remember. I had to deal with him for the Republican movement as well. Oh, we're on, aren't we? I'm just chatting to the boys. We're about to be on air. I'm going to tell you what the letters are for tonight. First letter, we haven't done this for years. Yes, biology at its best. Farts. The first letter is, we've got farts and dogs in the one paragraph. Stay tuned for that one. If it had the Queen in there as well, my mother would be on the floor laughing. Letter number 2, he's bred so much division and hatred. How can anyone see this as a positive for the USA? Yes, you know who we're talking about, don't you? And the last letter tonight, they're obviously biased and relentless in their outrage. We're talking about radio hosts, shock jocks, all this terrific load of panel. Bid, where's Bid? Stick your face in, Bid. There's Bid, you're covered. Jono, where are you? Move over, they can't see you. There you go. Coming up in about, you know how long it takes. We'll see you in a minute. There wasn't a lot.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, 'cause baby, it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour. It's time for Sweet and Sour. It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Gary Mitchell with you for the next fun-filled half hour. Who have we got on the show tonight? You'll love them. First up, good mate of ours. Hello, Bid.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm terrific. How are you?
Always
no one ever
good, you
asked
know
you
that.
how you are.
Oh, I'm always good. You don't have to.
Oh, okay. Good.
Goodness me. Otherwise, if I wasn't good, I wouldn't be here tonight, mate.
Excellent.
All right. Now, tell me, have you done any more celebrations of your particular variety of late? Your funeral celebrants.
I have, sadly, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. It's an interesting line of work.
It is an interesting line of work, yeah.
Are there many people out there who
People dying to get into it,
specifically?
Mitch. Yeah.
But are there many who just do?
Yes, there are.
There are?
Yeah.
They don't couple it up with the weddings and the whatever?
It's
Different.
Yeah, it's unique work, yeah. Neither better or worse than any other job,
unique.
but it is unique work, yeah.
It certainly puts you in a good posse to be on this position tonight to answer all the letters tonight. Someone who's here for the first time tonight. Hello, Louanne.
Hi.
How are you? Now, you've certainly got an interesting line of work too.
I most certainly do.
Do you want to tell people what you do?
I'm a matchmaker and a dating expert.
Cool. There's a song from Fiddler on the Roof that's coming at Matchmaker, Matchmaker. Do you know that? Does anybody sing it to your name?
Yes, they do.
They do. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
You're also eminently qualified to assess some of these situations.
I'm
as well.
looking forward to that.
Fitness fanatic. Hello.
Me.
How's
Hello.
Chloe?
I'm good. I'm really good, thank you.
You're always good.
And how are you?
Oh. Yep, really good, thank you.
That's good. Good to see you again.
I wasn't running as quickly as what you were to get into the studio, and I kept us waiting for about...
Don't want to know that story. Don't want to know that story.
No. But,
Got a bit of a workout in, that's for sure.
Oh, well done. Nice to have you here, huh?
Thank you.
John Hammond's here, man about town. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, I think it is. Good evening.
It's taken us a while to get here.
Yeah.
Nice to have you here, sir.
Yeah.
First time you and I are on the panel together.
It is, because last time you were absent for whatever reason. I believe it was
Sorry.
important.
It was like we had that conversation just
Yeah,
before.
we did,
So
yeah,
it had
yeah.
nothing to do with the phone. So welcome back, John.
Yeah, thanks
Good to
very
have you
much.
Here, mate. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Letter number 1. Did Doggy do it? Dear Mitch and panel, our 7-year-old Labradoodle farts very smelly farts. It's not the farting that's the problem. You know, we haven't had a farting letter on this show for about 5 years. So thank you, Kate of Croydon.
It's far too long.
It's
Far too long.
The problem is that whenever we have friends over and the dog drops a stink bomb, my husband always calls out, "Kate, do you mind?" and fans his hand in front of his nose. Of course, I deny it, and he says in front of people, "How could you blame it on the dog?" Of course, everyone breaks up with laughter, except for me. I always feel humiliated. It might have been funny once, but not anymore. I get very upset about this, and I've tried mentioning it to my husband when we're alone, and he just says I'm being oversensitive. Actually, I've cut down on how many times we have friends over. My husband hasn't made the connection even though I've told him it's because I get very upset. Do you think I'm being oversensitive? How do I get him to spare me the embarrassment? As I said, Kate of Croydon. Bid, we're going straight to you first, sir.
Oh, look, this is really Louanne territory, but I'll have a crack at it. No, I mean fixing relationships. Look, I reckon this is something that calls for a sell the sofa solution. I love sell the sofa solutions. That story comes from a bisexual British actor by the name of Charles Lawton, wonderful actor, who confessed to his wife that he'd just had this assignation, yet another, with a young man on the family couch. What should he do? He begged his wife, and she said, sell the sofa. So here's what I reckon you should do: sell a dog, or at least, take the when your husband comes home, have the dog spirited away with a family friend or something for a couple of days, and tell your husband, no, sold the dog. You wouldn't listen to me. You humiliated me. I've sold the dog, and keep it going for a couple of days. Or sell the story. Jump in before your husband. So when the dog does that,
get him.
You own it. Jump up, scream, wail, beg forgiveness. Long, loud protestations, wailing, gnashing of teeth. Go on and say, oh God, it's terrible. My husband's a saint. He's put up with this for years. But it's not. And go in right up in somebody's face and say, but it's not just the farting. It's the diarrhea. And describe every sort of detail. I'm talking colour, odour, texture, duration, medical conditions, how he's been a saint, how he's put up with you. Believe me, those people who've humiliated you, they will be out of your house so quickly, and your husband will never ever do it again. Sell the sofa.
Come on, Louanne.
Okay. Are you being oversensitive? No, he's been insensitive. Because when something like this happens and you discuss it with your husband, yeah, it might be funny the first time, but what men have to realise is that the vagina has an open and closed switch completely dependent by what comes out of your mouth. You say the wrong thing.
Is that where it is?
It is. You say the wrong thing, that thing is closed for business. Okay, now that can be closed for business for a day, a week, a month. Now she's made every effort to actually discuss this with him and say, this is a problem to me, and he's disrespecting that it's actually a problem to her. So I'm actually wondering whether the problem is the labradoodle or the lack of sex that's going on in that house, because once a woman disconnects because her man's not being respectful, it'd be just exactly the same as if we jumped in front of the TV just as you're about to kick the winning goal of your team. We wouldn't do it. It's not funny.
Jeez.
It's funny the first time, but it's not repeatedly funny.
Isn't it amazing? A fart letter extracts so much good information. All right, Chloe, what's going on here?
Yeah, I agree. Kate, you definitely need to have a word with your partner about that. No, hang on, you have, sorry, my mistake. Your partner needs to actually take into consideration your feelings. You should not be the butt of his jokes. That is not okay in my books. So if he really loves that Labrador, I agree, get rid of it.
Get rid of him.
Just to get him back, you know what I mean?
Final word to a man. John,
That's it.
John?
If you're on the receiving end of this type of commentary from your husband or wife, it's not very funny. I mean, just picture yourself sitting in front of guests, the dog farts, there's a horrible smell in the room, and someone turns around to you and says, oh, what did you do that for? It's just not nice. It's awful. So, Ed, you said buy a new sofa. I reckon get rid of the husband. That's the easiest way, because if you're going to make these jokes about you, then he's not worth having.
That's it.
He's not worth it.
It's crass, it's rude, it's disrespectful.
Especially when you've spoken to him about it. It's not on.
When we come back, we're going to be talking, speaking of disrespectful, potentially, we're going to be talking about, he hasn't been there for long, 2 weeks at this point in time, Donald Trump. Don't go away, we'll see you soon. Ooh, who's encouraged by Donald Trump's election so far?
Getting in touch with Sweet and Sour is easy. Just head to sweetandsour.net.au to send us a letter. And while you're there, why not check out our past episodes? Plus, don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And for a behind-the-scenes look at Sweet and Sour, check us out on Instagram.
And for everyone that does send us a letter, we're going to send you to the movies, courtesy of our very gorgeous Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications. And the movie we're sending you to this week, lucky I remember because it's no longer on the auto cue, is Cafe Society. Terrific. Thank you, Nat. And we'll announce that at the end of the show. Here we go, letter 2, titled We've Been Trumped. Panel, OMG. How does it happen that so much hate speak collects so much momentum that someone like Donald Trump gets to become the leader of the free world. He's bred so much division and hatred. How can anyone see this as a positive for the US or for anyone in the Western world? He's racist, sexist, a hate speaker, anti-global warming, wants to give rich people huge tax breaks. He's a total con man. My question is, how can this man who has campaigned in hatred and division do anything positive for the USA and the world? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. I'm scared. This, I fear, is not going to be a good period for the world. Is there any hope? Asks Geller of South Yarra in Victoria. John, any hope?
I think there is. I've got a few theories on this. First of all, in answer to this letter where your writer says that he's a total con man, I don't agree with that. Your writer says he's racist. He wasn't conning about that. Your writer says he's sexist. Your writer, that's not true. I mean, that is true. He's clearly sexist in the way he talks about women.
Hide it.
He's anti-global warming. He's not conning about that. He generally does not believe in climate change. But is there any hope? I actually believe there is, because I believe Trump's going to give the world an incredible shake, and it may mean that we have to descend to almost anarchy to realise how bad it is to have someone at the top who doesn't have much in the way of intellect, who doesn't really know what he's doing, and to me seems full of hot air. I suspect that when he got elected, he said, hell, I didn't expect that was going to happen. What am I going to do now?
I remember seeing his face when he walked onto the stage to say that he's been elected, and it was almost, even the commentator said, you know, is he emotional? Is he in tears? So he had this perplexed look on his face, so maybe he didn't expect it. Chloe, do you know who Donald Trump is?
I do know. That is not funny.
Okay.
I do know who Donald Trump is. But the question is, to me, is why are we allowing one man to dictate how a country is run?
It's funny how that system works.
Oh, is he like the man that knows everything? Aren't we old enough and ugly enough to make our own decisions? And I think we're all pretty, like, most of us are good, normal people. I don't think we need to have one person dictate how we live our lives and what's right and what's wrong.
Funny.
Do you know what I mean?
It's the system that's thrown it up, and that's a very good question. Should one person
Be that
in
person that
control
makes
of
those decisions? I mean, what makes him...
so much direction?
You know? Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
Hopeful?
No, I don't think anything in in politics for me. I just believe that it's kind of a bit of an illusion that we have a choice, but we don't really have a choice.
Louanne, how do you see it? The next 4 years?
Look, he's a celebrity and a businessman, and he's going to use that alpha maleness to get, is that even a word, to get as far as he can, and he got as far as he can. He got right to the top. And now, who says he can't? No one else told him he could. Well, plenty of people told him he couldn't do this, this, and this, but yet he did. And equal and opposite reaction, he's going to make some changes. They might be.
We'll make some changes.
They might not be all great changes, but he's going to make some changes. And we'll have to sit back and accept some of those changes, and some are going to work, some are going to stick, and some will be for the good. But no politician's ever going to get it right and get everything for the good or keep everyone happy. But as soon as you walk behind that polling booth, you're actually allowed to say, I'm going to do whatever I want behind here, and no one can judge me. So just because I'm voting for Donald Trump doesn't make me a sexist. It just makes me, or a racist or anything else. It just makes me want to say, I'm not voting for the Democrats because they don't care what I've got to say anyway.
Come on, Ben.
Ooh, look, Geller, first thing, don't fear and never lose hope. I'm not a Trump supporter or a Trump apologist. He is a lot of the things that the panel has said, but the alternative was an abomination. I was a journalist for 28 years, and the Clintons' history of 30-year history of moral, legal, political, financial indiscretions is just off the chart. Off the chart. So we have dodged a bullet. We are not going to get Monica's ex-boyfriend's wife in the White House. I want to throw a couple of names at you. JFK, drug-dependent womanizer. Martin Luther King, serial philanderer, including with prostitutes. Winston Churchill, a sometimes aggressive and belligerent drunk. Mahatma Gandhi had a very questionable sexual history. These are great men who did great things with great flaws. So
He's a male.
I think, you know,
Sorry.
I think we need to calm the farm and give Donald Trump a chance. We've had in Australia Kevin Rudd and what's his name, the chap we've got at the moment, the two smartest men in the room. How's that working for you?
Yeah.
So I think we need to try other things.
Yeah.
Cool.
And look, the best I can see is that at the end of 4 years, we actually say, hey, aren't we all pleasantly surprised? And you hope that's the best outcome. He's certainly got his hands full because he preached division and he preached a lot of things, and he's expecting everybody to come together. He's going to get what he deserves. If he can deal himself out of that and put that all aside, he may well make some progress for his nation and the rest of us as well. When we come back, we're talking about talkback callers. Okay. Oh no, hosts, not callers. Oh, callers, hosts, you know.
Love, lust, drama, sexual tension. No, I'm not talking about my Saturday night, I'm talking about this show. Sweet and Sour, make sure you tune in to see what we have to say.
Stone Cold Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
There we go. Straight into letter 3, dear Gary and panel. Gary? Someone's calling me Gary. Must be my sister on the hill. I'm a fan of talkback radio. Wherever I am, I always have the radio on if I can. It's my way of staying connected to the community. Lately, I've noticed that some announcers are really strong and almost vitriolic in their personal criticisms of people in the public eye. When callers ring up to put the other side, they dismiss what sounds like facts and continue with personal attacks against their selected individuals. They are obviously biased and relentless in their outrage. I've heard one announcer keep returning to attack the same public official over months. I hate to hear this sort of stuff. In my opinion, talkback radio shouldn't be the place to settle personal scores or attack individuals. Good luck. I see it as a way to connect the community and discuss public affairs without reducing the discussion to personal attacks. What does your panel think of the level of talkback radio these days, and do they think, like me, it's become so unprofessional? Renee from Wanneroo in WA. Chloe, do you listen to much talkback radio?
No, I don't, and I don't watch a lot of TV either, because I just think that, like you said in the letter, that the media is very biased, and you kind of get a point of view from someone else and not your own. And I would prefer to do my own research on things as opposed to what people talk about on the radio or
Does it
on the media.
rile you when you happen to just land on a station and you listen to it?
I do.
Do you quickly turn off?
Oh yeah, it annoys me because it is biased. There's nothing genuine about it. You're only hearing a point of view from one particular person, whether it's the radio or the TV or anything. Even the news is exactly the same. It's always negative. That's another thing. Media is always negative. Why do you want to be surrounded by that kind of energy all the time? Turn it off. Do your own research.
But marketers know that negativity travels more than 3 times
It
quicker
does. It
than
absolutely
positivity.
does. Absolutely does.
And it can sell, I suppose. I don't
It
know.
does.
John, you're always on talkback radio, sir.
Well, I'm very biased because I think talkback radio in Western Australia is of a pretty high standard. I don't think that the people who run the shows, the hosts, are too vitriolic. But I will say this, I think it's going to change, and I think it's going to change to become a lot more vitriolic. Because if you look at someone like Alan Jones in Sydney, who's won the ratings over 100 sessions in a row of rating sessions, and they reckon he'll get to 200 without any trouble at all. He is someone that relentlessly bashes a cause, and he'll bash callers that he doesn't agree with. So I think in Western Australia we're probably going to be headed down that path.
Wow, it's probably the path for every talkback station then.
Yeah, I think
if it sells, and radios are about selling space.
And I think in this SMS generation that we live in, everyone wants the message to be really short. Sometimes they want it to be really crude, and they love a good stoush.
You're on talkback radio. Do you enjoy listening to talkback radio then?
I've enjoyed it more since I've been on it, I suppose, but I do enjoy it at times, yes.
Okay, all right. Louanne, do you listen?
Look, I don't. I've been on it, and I have been at the receiving end of ridiculous questions that are just a little bit insulting. But that is
Somewhat
actually,
similar to tonight's show.
that's actually the job of the media, to challenge and to question things, and we're all going to put our opinion forward. If even human beings, that is what we do. If our opinion of someone is a low opinion, we stab them in the back. We try to get everybody else to think the same as what we think about that particular person, because that's what we do as humans. The paparazzi does it, you know, they follow you around and try to get photos, and they get that really rotten photo and they put it on. Social media does it. You don't even have to be someone in the public eye, but something can happen on social media and all of a sudden you're ridiculed. It's absolutely no different than anyone on the talkback radio having their opinion. That's what they're actually paid for, and they're paid to challenge and raise confrontation. That's the job.
Bid, it's true, isn't it? Everyone's always right. That's the problem with the planet, isn't it?
You betcha. I started in the steam wireless in, yes, in 1970. 1970, remember that. Look, Google it, kids. The whole world was in black and white there. It was amazing. I love radio, actually, but it's true, it was.
We didn't see
go
colour
look
back
at the movies. Look at the movies. They're all in black and white.
white.
But commercial radio has been hijacked by programmers who think we have the musical attention span of goldfish, the news comprehension of the National Enquirer, and shock jocks who think that negativity is automatically right. And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm with you. I think the media's become more intrusive, more opinionated. The line between infotainment and fact has become so blurred that we're in danger of, as Chloe said, really, is this
really
opinion, is this news,
on,
is this happening?
Yeah.
And as you say, negativity sells. I think it was Churchill who said, a lie can go halfway around the world before the truth gets its pants on. And I think that it's the same with negativity. Negativity sells.
Tell me, do you like this letter to give away the pair of limited edition sunnies courtesy of Alon Treves, or do you like another one?
I'm more of a farting dog man, to tell you the truth, Mitch.
I've heard that said about you, actually.
A lot of people say that.
All right, one for letter one, fart. All right, Louanne, what do you like?
I'm a letter one all the way.
Okay, nothing like lifting the level of the show, is there? Chloe, which one do you like?
Oh, definitely the farting dog for sure.
Oh, Jono, give us some hope. Which one do you like?
I've got a bit of a stage prop here, Gary, and
Can you do that closer to your microphone? Push it again.
And I'll do it.
Oh, that's terrible. You know,
that was really wrong of you.
I couldn't help myself.
the crew are pissing themselves laughing. Thank you, sir. Well, coming out to letter one of it's Kate of Croydon for South Australia. I don't think we've solved your problem, but you gave us a good chuckle.
If only this was smell-o-vision.
It was smell-o-vision. Goodness me. Ben, good night, sir. We'll
you
see
very
you
much.
again very shortly.
Thank you.
Louanne,
Yeah, lovely.
terrific to have you here for the first
Thank
time.
you for having me.
Will you come back and see us again?
I sure do that.
Terrific. Lovely to have you here. Chloe? Right, if I organise you for 3 weeks' time, if
Yes,
you start
I'll be
running
fine.
now,
I'll be
you
fine.
might get here on time.
And
But
I'll put some jeans on that fit me next time, so I can get to early.
Another story.
Another
John,
story, yeah.
terrific to have you here, sir.
Yeah, and it's so close. That's what I love about it. I can
His
just walk
office
across
is
the
just
road.
there. It's just over there. Thank all of our wonderful panellists. Thank our terrific crew for putting it all together tonight. And thanks for having us at home tonight, Australia. Good night, everyone. This is where you wave, ladies. Come on, bye now. And gentlemen. That's it. That's it. Good night. That's it. Good night. Thank you.